Okay. Next up, I don't know if I'm ever going to sell you on this movie. This is a movie distributed by Angel Studios. They are a faith-based studio. Okay, so they do a lot of faith-based movies.
Propaganda.
Sometimes, I'm sorry, Eric Holmes?
Oh, propaganda, you mean?
But propaganda. I mean, yeah, I believe in propaganda because the propaganda starts with prop, trying to prop you up, trying to prop the human spirit up. So I mean, I am optimistic.
Speaking of ghost stories, have you read the Bible lately?
Oh boy, I better actually get a rim shot so we can actually have a laugh about it. So, anyways, very funny, Eric Holmes. Now, Brave the Dark. I am okay with faith-based movies in general if they have a cast a wide net, meaning if they are have a universal theme to it or it's inspiring. And Eric Holmes, to I'm not going to argue back and forth with you about propaganda, but sometimes to me, a lot of cinema is propaganda, but I guess it's what kind of propaganda we decide to subscribe to. In your defense, yes, faith-based movies might be not the thing for a lot of people, but there are a lot of people who are really into faith-based movies. I'm not one of those people. I'm more of middle of the road. As long as the movie is tells a good story, good news. Brave the Dark. It's based on actual events. It centers on a teacher named Mr. Dean, high school teacher, and he sees one of his students, Nathan. Nathan, played by Nicholas Hamilton. Nathan's a talented runner, athlete in high school, and the problem is Nathan, he is having a lot of problems with his past. There's something that happened regarding his mother and father that continues to haunt him to this day. Eric Holmes would really dislike Brave the Dark because it has a ton of flashbacks that actually are piece by piece throughout the narrative. I don't know, Eric. Is that fair? Sometimes you don't like a lot of flashbacks, or you want to make the flashbacks make sense when you're watching a movie.
I
Sometimes.
I don't mind. I don't mind flashbacks. What as far as like the only time jump that really bugs me is the we'll open the movie with the end,
Oh, okay, and then back.
and then just to get you into the movie, and then we'll flash back to the beginning of the movie where they're waking up, taking a shower, making breakfast, talking to like basically they did that flashback because they don't have a beginning of the movie because the
Mm.
beginning of the movie is boring as hell.
Oh, fair,
That
fair.
that's the flashback I hate. If you do it throughout the movie and that's a conceit of it, then that's fine with me.
Well, that is the conceit of Brave the Dark. You get little puzzle pieces told in flashback on why Nathan is still scarred by his experience with his mother and father. You get to know everything what happens by the end of the film. That's not a spoiler. It's just the way predictably a lot of these flashbacks go, especially in family drama driven films. So Nathan's in trouble. He's scarred from his past and he's been living out of his car. One night he decides to, with a couple of buddies, steal some stuff from I believe a store, and it's not a good thing because it lands him in jail. And the only person who's actually seemingly on his side is his teacher, the aforementioned Mr. Dean, played by Jared Harris. And the rest of Brave the Dark deals with how Mr. Dean is trying to pull Nathan in to the world of trying to do. He wants Nathan to be on the straight and what is it called, Eric? Straight and narrow path. Straight and narrow path. Not do bad things. He's trying to bond with Nathan and say, "Hey, you need to graduate from high school. If you don't, you're a senior already. If you do any other transgression, you'll be completely thrown in jail again, and you won't be able to graduate." So that's Brave the Dark. I think Brave the Dark, it means also, it's a pretty obvious title. It means facing your past, braving the darkness of your life in the past and facing the present. And it's a really good family drama, which is it's highlighted by, my opinion, some really good performances by Jared Harris. You really believe it's Mr. Dean, that high school teacher who just means well. He's very empathetic, very kind, and he's trying to and struggling to understand Nathan, who is a virtual troublemaker, and their relationship forms the heart of Brave the Dark. And I really loved watching their sequences together, them trying to understand each other. And I think the performances of Jared Harris and Nicholas Hamilton are the reasons to see Brave the Dark. It's also a very inspiring story. And yeah, is it propaganda? Possibly. I mean, it depends on apples and oranges, tomato, Caribbean. It depends on how you look at movies, I guess, in big strokes. And look, is it faith-based? Yes, but it's not slathered throughout the narrative. Okay. You
But
might see a shot of the cross. What? Yeah.
what's the faith in this one? Because I remember did Ordinary Angels with Hilary Swank,
Yeah. And when
and
they're praying and they're doing the flight thing, right? That
yeah,
was yeah.
they're basically asking God for help to help a problem that God caused. So it's kind of like that doesn't quite make sense, but that's how these things. What's like the faith-based part of this?
Great question. I don't see it. I mean, I see there's moments where you get maybe a shot of the cross in a car, but there's no scenes where Mr. Dean is praying or Nathan is praying in a chapel or anything like that. It's not overt, which I think is very good for Brave the Dark. I have I have not listened to Bruce Perky's review for Brave the Dark. I hope he sort of liked the movie because I think the faith-based stuff is having faith in other people. And I think Angel Studios said, hey, this is a very good story. Let's put our money behind this movie. And yeah, I didn't really see any God driven stuff in this movie. It was just a nice teacher trying to do well by this troubled youth. And it's will they make it or not? I said it's an inspiring story. So I'm not spoiling. I think a lot of people will know what's going to happen at the end of the movie. But I think the way this movie is executed, it's really well done. Jared Harris, Eric, I know you probably don't know the name, but if you saw his face, you've
Oh,
seen some
I know who
stuff.
Jared Harris
Okay,
is. Yeah,
right. He's a
he was the main guy in Chernobyl.
which I did not see. So
Yeah.
that's a good. Okay, do you
Oh,
like
you
Chernobyl?
should. Chernobyl's
Eh,
pretty great.
Okay, you don't watch a lot of that stuff. You don't watch a lot of miniseries. And Chernobyl,
It's a three-part series. It
yeah.
goes down. It's like watching a 3 hour movie, like The
Okay,
Brutalist.
I like the brutal. Did you see the Brutalist? Did you like that?
It's not playing here, so
Oh, it's
I've
not
not
playing.
seen
Oh,
it.
okay. That's
It's a 2024 movie that'll probably be released here in March, I'm sure.
oh no. All right.
But
So
also
yeah.
directed by Damien Harris. I guess that's his
Yes.
brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, Damien Harris. I was thinking about that. So you looked it up. They're brothers. Very cool. I think Damien Harris did a movie years ago that I've wanted to watch for years called I think the Rachel Papers. But if you look at the filmography of Damien Harris, he has a very interesting filmography. He does a great job with Brave the Dark and Angel Studios or not. This is a solid drama. I'm giving Brave the Dark based on the acting performances, on the inspiring story. I'm a sucker for these inspiring stories if they are told correctly and have great performances and well done story. 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars for Brave the Dark for me. Three. Am I this year? I think I'm 3.5 star Greg instead of 4 star Greg, but it's I don't know what's come over me. 3.5 stars
You're
for.
moving down in the world. It's
I
fine.
look. You don't have Eric. You don't have to tell me that. I already know that. So it's just. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.